Welcome back. This is Fantastic Pains and How We Hide Them. I'm not Chris.
And I'm not Karina.
But we're here together.
As usual.
For more fun times and shenanigans.
With secret guest again.
Yes.
Secret guest. Announce your presence.
Hi. I'm Kaylee.
Kaylee's here.
Friend of podcast Kaylee.
Indeed. I love how we use friend of podcast and wife of podcast. That's my favorite thing ever, just so you know. If this is your very first time joining us, welcome, first of all. This is our podcast / YouTube channel / all the other things.
Nonsense included.
Yes. Oh my God, sorry. About life with chronic and invisible conditions. We are a sibling duo, and it gets silly.
Oh, yeah.
And
so,
dark.
If you're
and
listening,
silly.
watch. If you're watching, listen. Either way, you win.
All of the above. Just...
Yeah.
At the same time, put them on the computer and your phone and the TV, and then you can have surround sound.
She's just looking for views.
Yeah.
Don't listen to her. Anyways, we can be found on YouTube and Spotify mainly. And then right now, as of yesterday, pretty much every streaming site and maybe Apple, which is weird because we usually say never Apple.
What?
But maybe Apple.
The world is not what we thought it was.
We also have TikTok and Shorts now on YouTube.
Yes.
That are funny, so go check those out.
Yes.
And we're also the host to a wonderful community of pandas. Trash pandas.
Trash pandas
on Discord.
Yes. So if you're a zebra, you might actually be a trash panda. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Join the trash panda community.
Indeed. We have Ehlers-Danlos type 3 and a slew of other conditions. And we talk about our experiences with living with those conditions and having to live in a society that's not built for those of us who live with disabilities.
Yeah.
But our main goal is to unmask, really, is to try to reveal the suffering for everybody so that we can finally feel a little bit less alone.
Right. Like it sounds, every time you say that, I always think to myself, oh, that sounds so bad. But then it's like, no, we're revealing it so that other people can relate.
Yeah.
So that you don't feel alone.
Right.
Because it's so easy.
Yes.
When you're dealing with mental or physical illnesses, just to feel like it's only you and no one else would get it.
Right. Well, and we live in a world that pushes us to mask in order to continue doing all of the type A things, right? So we don't know each other exist until somebody's brave enough to unmask.
Yeah.
And we're going to do that because I'm tired of masking and I'm not going to do it anymore.
Like in Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Unmask the bad guy.
Yeah.
Indeed.
We got to unmask the bad guy. We're not really going to do that today, though. Today we're doing
a special episode.
our holiday episode.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be the last episode for the year, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
So we'll see you next year already.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
That was it? No.
Bye.
We're going to do we just wanted to do a yearly recap and talk about what we've done, how the year was.
Right.
Our growth, our fallbacks.
Right.
Setbacks, fallbacks.
Fallbacks.
Fallout guy. Who knows?
No. But yes, so we're going to talk about kind of where we started. Because we've only been around since May of 2021. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're only about a year and a half old. So all of this is very new to us still.
I think until you're 2, you still have to refer to it in the amount of months old that you are.
Yeah, we're at 18 months.
We're 18-month-old, you know.
Hey, but no, I'll get into it. I don't want to ruin the stats. There's some really cool stats that I have, so I don't.
Yes, so he's really excited to do that. Do you want to do a recap today, or do you want to jump right in?
Let's do a recap.
Okay.
Because
so
I could
this is
talk.
Our last recap for the year. Here we go. It is time for the weekly recap.
Check in.
Pow.
I'll go second because I'm going to pull up the Spotify thing real quick.
Okay. I'm on break, finally. I, being school teacher, am very, very tired. And we went on break as of yesterday. So I'm really excited to actually get to sleep and rest and get my house back in order and maybe become a person again before I have to start up again in a couple weeks. It was a very long week. I got to see a lot of really cool things with my kids. They were doing their exhibitions all week. It was very highly emotionally charged kind of week.
Well, they technically graduated, some of them, yeah. So now they're moving on.
There's 2 of them who have graduated.
Wow.
One of them who's got one more project to do. It was so sweet too because he did his presentation. Everyone was like, "That was absolutely amazing. Good job." Busted it out. just awesome. It was almost an hour long.
Right.
He went through everything. And then he had 2 left at the end and was like, hey, to my partner, hey, can you help me with my financial literacy one? And he was like, yeah. Do you want to do that after we come back from break? And he was like, no, I was thinking like right now. And so after their presentations, when they could have gone home, 2 of these kids stuck around so that he could bust out his project real quick.
Nice.
And so he's going to start the new year with 1 project left.
Wow.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
So it was really cool to see what a lot of them had done with their projects. And then just there was a different kind of emotional connection in being able to talk to our kids who hadn't been attending a whole lot.
Yeah.
And been like, no, tell me what's going on with you. We don't want you to get up there and be like, this is the thing I made up last night. I don't know. We want you to get up there and talk to us about what's been going on in your world.
Mm-hmm.
What are the obstacles you're facing?
The practice run kind of thing you were talking about last night. Like having them get up and do a presentation regardless.
Oh, yeah.
Have fun, just so that they could get used to presenting. And
yeah. Well, we make them do it because then they're held accountable to, like, you didn't do it. Yeah. Tell us why you didn't do it. Explain to us what happened.
Okay.
Which is super important because a lot of them were able to kind of pull themselves out of the isolation and the shame.
Right.
And see that people were on their side and people were rooting for them and really wanted them to succeed and cared about more than their academics, which...
I mean, honestly, if that happened to me, I'd come back and be all energized and ready to go.
Exactly. And that's what we're seeing now is... And that's why that kid was like, let me bust out my project right now. Because he was like, I don't know, I didn't finish it. And we're like, we don't care if you finished it. We want to know what you've done.
Nice.
So it was just really cool. And we had a couple kids who got up and were just like, I didn't do anything. Here's why I didn't do anything. These are the reasons, not the excuses. This is my plan moving forward. But then just kind of realizing that they didn't have to be ashamed. Because, you know, when you fall behind on something and you're like, it's too late. I can't catch up. I'm going to just not do it anymore.
Right.
And then they drop off and they ghost us because they're feeling guilty and ashamed.
They want to hide.
Exactly. And so now they're not hiding, which is so nice to see and really have good conversations with them.
That's good.
So it was a very long week and I cried twice. I wept once. Like,
she wept.
It was bad. I had children comforting me because my baby graduated. I was so proud. But I was also really sad because he's been like a permanent fixture in my room for a year and a half.
Right. And now there's a vacancy.
Right.
So if you are attending classes, maybe you could fill in. Just don't be a dickhead. Just be sweet. And there you go.
Yeah. Well, and then like, it was a cool week. It was a good week of like connecting with kids.
Yeah.
Which was nice. And seeing kids we hadn't seen in forever. But yeah, it was a good week. It was, I think, potsy.
Very.
And fatiguey. Oh, and then I had a like bad MCAS flare.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday night.
Yep.
Which was icky. We had like same symptoms, same days,
all
week long.
Yeah.
It was very strange. Oh, and look what I did to my elbow.
I was gonna say, show your elbow.
Look at this. It's bigger now. It's less dark, but it's bigger.
It's bigger.
Yeah. I bruised the heck out of it.
It was purple last night.
Yeah. I whacked it really hard and then it bled a little bit, but then it continued bleeding under the skin, I think.
It looks like
so
like in illustrations and animation
like
where they
nose,
they just make it like pink on
the
elbows and the nose.
There you go.
So there's like a minor injury and then the other one's the major injury.
Yeah.
You got to stop walking on your elbows. I know it's fun and all, but it's not healthy.
I can't even picture how that would work.
It's so awkward.
I like having bones touch the concrete directly. It's my favorite thing.
Said our little brother.
That little tiny bit of skin.
Yeah.
So yeah. I whacked myself and then I hurt myself. Oh, I dislocated my shoulder yesterday. Like fully.
Right. Like, so there's like shoulder in place and then there's like when it's out, it's like way down.
Yeah.
So you were.
So I was like, and then I had to take it. And you know how you tuck it?
Yeah.
You bring it up and you like hold. I had my lanyard, so I just put my thumb in my lanyard and held it there. And it's like down here, but it's spasming really hard. And then there's like this bridge of bone because nothing's connected. It was fun.
Yeah.
I had a good time. But yeah, that was my week.
So I've decided that when I do my recaps, I'm not going to tell you if I fell down the stairs.
No, do it.
I'm going to tell you if I didn't fall down the stairs.
Oh.
I got to tell you about.
have to tell how many times.
How many times you didn't fall down the
Not
stairs?
how many times you did. Or I guess if you want to be positive about it, you could say how many times you successfully used the stairs without falling. But I'm gonna need a
That's
number.
a lot of times, though. You're gonna have to count.
Yeah.
We'll also put a counter button at the top of the stairs.
Oh, that'd be so cool. And then I can do effects like
for when you get to the top without falling.
Yeah, and if I can go a whole week, I
it'll
get
be
like
like
confetti.
on like what was it like Global Guts or whatever.
Oh yeah, where you
And then
smash the buttons to
get
finish.
to the top. You
Yeah,
have to
there you go.
slam
Yeah.
the button. We'll put one of those at the top of your stairs.
Okay.
No, it's the
Can I have
down
a
that's
part
the
of
problem, though.
the what was it called? The Astro Crag or
Was it the Astro Crag
something
or-
Crag?
It was something Crag.
Yeah, it was a
Let me Google
Nickelodeon
it.
show. Like kids would compete against each other, and they would at the end they'd have to climb this mountain thing
Oh, okay.
and hit
Yes,
buttons on
I
the
know
way
what
up.
you're talking about, but I
Aggro
haven't-
Crag.
Aggro Crag.
Yeah, there you go.
You read it, and I read your mind.
You did.
I was like, oh, that's what it is.
Let the psychicness continue.
Okay, my week. I saw Dr. Anna, which was really good.
Mhm.
She made me feel really special because she said I don't look old. Thank you, Dr. Anna.
Yep.
I needed that. It was a rough week.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw her on like Tuesday, so
I
the
think as a
weekend, yeah.
general rule, if somebody tells you how old they are, you should just act shocked to be like, "There's no way you're that old."
What? Get out of here!
Uh-uh. There's no way you're 107.
I thought that was your sister, not your mother.
I had kids in middle school tell me that, which is really upsetting.
Weird.
They wanted to date my mom.
Also weird.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. It was a different culture down there.
In the desert.
Yeah.
Limited options.
So thirsty. Not enough water.
It's a desert after all. Anyway, I mean, it was a good visit. We didn't like stay for long because we didn't have much to catch up on. I'd had a pretty decent mental health month, so
Mhm.
there wasn't a lot that needed to be tweaked.
And she was the emotional one.
Yeah, it was endearing is the way to put it, because it was cute and it was sad.
Yeah.
It's endearing. That's what that word's for. We were in the waiting room and a song came on, and like one of those, it's like those channels that just have background music.
Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't think anything
For
of
like
it.
The Office. Yeah.
Yeah. And it came on and she ran out of her office and into the back room where she has it. She's like, it can't be. And I was like sitting there with Jen, like, what's going on? And then she comes out and her eyes are all filled with tears. And she was like,
Aw.
this song my mom used to sing to me before I would go to sleep. This is like a traditional Brazilian lullaby. And I was like, oh, that's
so
adorable. And
sweet.
she was like choked up. And
Yeah. Aw.
she's the best. I got to get her on here.
Yes. We'll have
She's
to
not
do that
going to be
soon.
here. I was going to try this winter, like
is
over the
she-
next couple of weeks, but
Vacation.
she's out. Yeah. And the fatigue was horrible this week.
Yes.
Very bad. And
Straight misery.
yeah, the pain, it was just out of control. And I didn't have my meds for some of it. I'm out of Concerta.
Oh no, not again.
And we're waiting for it to come back in stock.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
just
because
not in
it's
stock.
getting messed up by the Adderall shortages.
Exactly. People are getting
Because they're like, we'll just
prescribed other
prescribe you
things.
this one, and then it's just not helpful.
right. So I have nothing for my Adderall.
Oh no.
And there was like 2 nights that I fell asleep before Jen could give me my night meds. So I didn't
I
have
did
my
that once
bipolar
this
meds,
week.
and I was like, I woke up and I was really out of it and confused and like, why do I feel like I have to rearrange the house?
Mhm.
Why do I want to read? That's why I think I was so productive yesterday. So
Oh.
yesterday I busted out a ton of different projects for the podcast.
Yes. Oh my god.
I spent all day on it, and I was at the end. I felt so good. I was like, I did good stuff today. Like I got our YouTube Shorts working
Uh-huh.
because TikTok is gonna burn down and explode eventually.
One day.
One day.
Yes.
So we got that going. I got us on a bunch of new podcast sites.
Yes.
They all got
There's a
approved last
ton.
night.
All
Yeah.
of them?
Pretty much all of
Oh
them.
my
Yeah.
god.
Um,
That's a lot.
Apple takes like 3 weeks, so we won't know until next year. But
Which is
we might
fine.
start the new year with an Apple podcast.
That's crazy.
And what else? Sorry, just abusing her. I hit her with my knee.
It's okay.
There was something else that I did. Oh, I wanted to talk about the live last night just because it was really good. Thanks you, everybody. Thanks you. I thanks you.
Thanks you. Thanks you, people.
You're welcome.
Aw, Yeah, Kaylee was there, and it was just fun.
It
We
was
had lots
really
of people
cool.
on, and we got to talk and goof around, and
Yes.
there was a lot of humor. It was just everyone seemed to be in a mood.
Yeah. But it was fun. It was like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It just feels so comfortable. Like
Yeah.
everybody gets on and it's just a good time. And it's not, there's no weirdness to it.
Right.
Which just feels so good.
Yeah.
I'm weird about like online relationships in general.
Right.
Because I'm really big on like seeing people and all of that. But like through Discord, we do get to see you partially.
Yeah.
Sometimes if it's working.
Oh no, we now have friends from the community from just hanging out and doing lives together. So
Oh yeah.
everyone who was there last night, thank you.
And we had some growth this week too.
Oh yeah, we have some new people. Welcome. Hopefully you
welcome,
enjoy.
welcome.
And we have all sorts of plans for next year.
Yeah.
Like
it might be season 5.
I'm not ready for season 5 because there are things that I have thought of that I wanted to change, but it's mostly stuff that I have to do every time we do an episode.
Like what?
Like changing some of the editing stuff, updating, adding in features, and kind of behind the scenes shenaniganry. But I'm thinking about it, so on to good things.
Yeah.
So I say we jump into it.
Agreed. So we're gonna talk about our just our year in wrap up, basically.
Yeah.
Wrapping up 2022, and reflecting on our year and how the podcast has grown over the last year and a half.
I have notes.
And he does have notes. He's going to share them with me eventually.
Okay.
Eventually.
Well, it's mainly stuff. I'm just going to like bring things up that I wrote down.
Yeah.
And we can talk about it.
Okay.
So this time last year, we were ending the season.
Which
literally
season was it?
Season 2.
Oh, that's crazy.
We ended last year by ending season 2.
That's insane.
And we started with season 3.
Wow.
So this year, we were only on the couch one time. And it wasn't for the first episode. It was that one where we
way
sat
later,
back.
yeah. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been at the table for a while.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The table's the norm now.
Yep.
It's been there longer than anything.
Uh-huh.
The couch only lasted 6 months. That's sad.
Yeah.
I thought the couch era was longer.
I liked the couch era, but like logistically the shooting was
if I
weird
bought
and
3 more or 2 more of those cameras, I would bring the couch back in a heartbeat. Because then I could do like a wide shot and then a zoomed in shot and a zoomed in shot.
Oh, that's fair.
And then I would just edit between and you know, production value.
Production.
I just don't have $1,000 bajillion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're poor. Hello.
But we have a podcast.
Yes.
Okay. Another thing to think about. We only had 3 microphones. They were those icicle sparks, the ones with the round heads.
Oh yeah.
And we had the shitty cables.
The crackles.
Yeah, the ones where we had to be very careful about what electronics we had near them. Like if our phone was near.
Oh yeah, if his phone was anywhere near the microphone, it made this horrible buzzing noise.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It was really
super
hard
annoying
to edit out and annoying. God. And
we only had 3.
Yeah, we only had 3. So when we had guests on, they would share the one mic, remember?
Yeah.
When we had 2 people.
It's
so crazy to think about.
Yeah. And we upgraded not that long ago too.
No. We've only been at this setup, but we have now for 5 months.
It feels shorter and longer than that.
Right? 5 just feels like a weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So what else? There's a reason I have notes. We went from the couch. Oh yeah, we also had a different sound system.
Yes.
Like our DAC was different. We only had the 2 inputs, so we had those splitters.
We had the splitters that were unreliable at times.
This is all stuff you guys missed out on, but it was stuff we struggled with just to make
backs.
episodes done.
Yeah.
Like
all the backstage craziness.
Well, and it would interrupt our flow all the time. Like our conversations have gotten more fluid since we've not had to stop, restart the camera every 30 minutes.
I was gonna say that. I was like, do you remember when we had to restart the camera? Literally every 30 minutes, we had to keep like a timer on.
Yep.
And we had to be able to pause our conversation at like a natural point and then restart the camera for another 30-minute go. And it was hard. And then sometimes when we went to restart it, it wouldn't restart.
Right.
And then we would lose an entire section of recording.
That happened so often.
Oh, it was bad.
And we had a point where we were using 2 cameras too. For the chair. Remember we did a couple where we tried the chair.
And I didn't like the chair.
No, it didn't work.
It's not a good era era. It was like this big.
Yeah. It's weird because we've broken it up into half. So the first year is like 6 months basically, let's say, and we broke that up into 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So 1 and 2, and like down the middle, and then this year we did 3 and 4, kind of down the middle.
That's true. I feel like 4 has been longer though.
I think 4 is our
4
longest.
is the longest season.
No, 3 is. We still have 2 months before.
Is it 2?
Because we've only been doing season
episodes?
4 for 5 months.
Well, but how many episodes?
Oh, I think it's like 3 more.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say it's like 26, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, just weird little tidbits.
It's just crazy.
Yeah. Oh, another thing we changed this year, over the year, which I kind of want to put together a montage of it.
Okay.
But our camera went from the wall.
Oh yeah.
To like,
Mm-hmm.
so we're actually visible. We're not these little people sitting in a giant empty room.
Yes. Because when we started, we were on the couch and the camera was way far away and kind of looking down on us.
Yeah, because we had a coffee
table. It was not a flattering shot, and we were like the background of our own podcast.
Yep.
And my husband mentioned it, and that's when I was like, Randy said we're the background of our own podcast.
He mentioned it the same week that it was bothering me too.
Yes, and that's when we changed it.
Like I was like, okay, I'm not the only one who thinks that. Yeah.
And then we got closer, and then we got more comfortable. And then we got closer.
Yeah, I was gonna say because it took us a while to get close.
Yeah.
To like where we are now.
Well, and learning like the rule of thirds and learning like how much space we could take up within. Yeah, it was just interesting, and like camera angle. The cameras come down a lot, also.
Yeah.
Our lighting has changed.
I think next season the camera should just be mounted directly above the table, pointed down at you.
And we're gonna talk like this the whole time.
I'm trying to set something up like that.
Back in your chairs.
Well, I want to get like you and Vizzy.
We're gonna
in here
lay down
and do an art stream where we just doodle on. We have another one of these.
Yes.
And I want to just doodle on it all day, and do it where we're streaming live, and then people can see what we're working on. And
yeah.
Just
and we experimented with some setup yesterday.
Yeah,
and that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I
have ideas. I just need adapter bits for it.
Well, let me know what you need.
Yeah, well, I'd have to figure that out still.
Okay.
I don't know what exactly I need.
We do purchase orders while I'm here.
I want a hoodie. I haven't gotten a
hoodie. I still don't have a hoodie, so we're gonna order hoodies today. Ha ha!
That's the next thing on the list is that we launched our Teespring this year.
Yeah. That seems wow.
Yeah.
Only this year, huh? Wow.
Yep. Yeah, and we've moved on from Teespring too, technically.
Yeah.
Because now we can do custom orders, basically. Given enough time.
Right. Well, and I've created a couple designs that are basically ready to go.
Yeah.
I just need to, I think I need white and gray shirts and different colored vinyl. And then we're good to go and we can start making these things. So if you're interested in the custom designs, go check out our website for pre-order information.
The website, which was made this year.
Yes.
By our fancy producer man.
Yes. That was a cool era too.
Yeah.
When we had fancy producer man. And we still do, but he's taken a hiatus. He's got stuff going on.
Yeah.
But
he's doing what he needs to do.
He really kind of pushed us into the next phase of things. Because
he was saying what we were thinking, but not sure if we were ready for.
Right.
And
then he was just like, I did it. Here you go. And we were like, oh, okay.
Guess we're doing that now.
We're doing that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, now we have a website with a shop in it and everything, and upgraded the Discord.
We haven't pushed the final upgrade.
Yeah.
But we have. We've been working on the Discord a bit. And that's the next thing I wanted to talk about is the growth of the Discord. And even our lives have gotten our live shows, not our lives. Mine hasn't been enriched by anybody. Just kidding. I love the people. Especially the Kaylee. Don't be hurt. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry.
You're gonna make her leave. Can't be this nice.
I was watching all of our TikToks yesterday to make shorts.
Yeah.
And we've posted the one with Kaylee toys. I didn't realize that.
Well, because you re-edit it.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yes.
Why are you here? Because Chris asked me to.
I'm mentally ill.
Oh, I love that.
The best. Oh, the land of couch.
Yeah.
It was a good time. It was a good time getting like used to everything too.
Yeah.
But
if I could get like cinder blocks, I could technically bring the couch back, I think. And
That
just
would be
put it
kinda
on,
cool.
on legs, and then we could still chill, like in the middle of the couch,
that's a
and
thought.
have a table at the same time.
That's a thought.
It's a thought. There's lots of things I could do, and very few that I'm gonna. So
Right.
we'll see.
Well, and you upgraded the office itself
Yes.
because your computer has been both in here and then upstairs and then in here again.
Yeah. Well, we went from my streaming setup
And laptop.
with the couch here and my rig against the wall
Uh-huh.
to I need it out of here so we have more room to bring it back down so it's easier to edit everything.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was a journey that happened this year.
Yeah.
And it's hard moving it. It's full of water. It's got like
Tubes.
lots and lots of water cooling parts, and it's very scary to move.
Yes. I can't believe you did it as many times as you did.
Yeah,
That would have been terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was. And we got fancy lights now.
And we moved away from the laptop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our audio used to be recorded on this guy right here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can see it.
I
Yeah,
don't think they can.
he's under here.
Yeah.
Retired. And we got our fancy new audio setup.
Mhm.
We got new cables.
New mics, new headsets.
Oh, the mics are my favorite.
Yeah.
My favorite purchase right here.
They're kind of fabulous.
Well, even listening to the old ones, it's so ridiculous how much better these are.
Yeah. Well,
Even
these-
like the one Kaylee's using is better than our old ones.
Yeah. Well, and they have like custom settings now in
Mhm.
our new soundboard, which is really nice.
And I have buttons I can hit. Which button should I hit?
Which button do you want
The
to hit?
purple one.
The purple one?
Yeah.
My friends now. We're having soft tacos later.
Aw.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes, we have buttons.
Got buttons.
And they used to say Austin things.
Yeah, they used
And
to
that
have
was
Austin
fun.
swearing.
Yeah.
He told me to take them away.
Oh, they were fun though.
I took
liked
most of them away. I still have the audio files somewhere. I'm not gonna put them back on. Or am I? I don't know. We'll find out. Who knows?
Well, and that's the other part is our like our community
Mm-hmm.
has expanded unbelievably, and it's so alive, and I love it. And I was not in the Discord for a good chunk of the last few months.
Yeah, when her phone got switched to the phone she hated, she couldn't get onto Discord. It wouldn't let her.
Pixel 6 was did not like.
Yeah,
I just got a Pixel 6.
Hate.
I love it.
Hate.
she hated it.
Hate. Horrible.
But yeah, our community. Well, think of it this way. Let's take a step back before we jump into that.
Okay.
We had guests this year, like mad.
Oh yeah, we
So-
started the year with like
Yeah,
big lineup.
we had, and not in any order. This is just the order that I wrote it down in, because I put my favorite people on top and my least favorite people. No, I'm kidding. Because
And
it
now
ends.
he's gonna read it randomized.
It ends with Austin. So, but we did. We had
That was
Austin
really
on
fun.
for our bipolar episode, which was really good.
Yeah.
I still want to get him on to do like an anger episode,
Yeah.
because I think that conversation that he wanted us to do would have to involve him,
It would be a really good episode too.
because
we
we
haven't
need
touched on anger.
his
as much.
perspective. Yeah, because we're not really angry people. We're not like
We're good
We
at
don't hold on to it.
processing
Yeah.
our anger. Yeah.
we can get upset, but we don't like.
But we've
get
not really
stuck.
talked about it because it's not something that like deeply affects
Right,
us.
which is why.
So it would be a really good episode to have with him.
Yeah, I think it'd be really good. We had Randy on.
Yeah.
We had that really good conversation about our suicidalities and our experiences with the system.
Yes.
That was fun. It was heavy, but it was fun.
It was heavy, but it was, we sat and we talked for like 6 hours. It was insane.
We had our 6-hour long Harper episode.
Yes.
I really liked that one.
That was a good one.
It was just a long conversation.
Uh-huh.
Like, my God. I'm surprised we lived through it. Like,
Right?
I remember like halfway through I was dying, and then I hit like a second wind.
And then at one point it was like, you want to keep going? And we were like, no.
No, we don't have time. There's no
We
way.
can't keep going. We'll have to do more later.
Yeah.
So it'd be fun to bring Harper back in,
Yeah, I agree.
especially to go over like, because he's really big on meditation and all of
Yeah.
that. So that would be an interesting twist.
I'd want to bring someone else with him
Yes.
too, like have someone else on,
Mhm.
because they'd, I think, have more insightful questions because it's not
Yeah.
meditation isn't too foreign for us, but we're not too familiar at the same time.
Right. We
We're
don't
like a gray.
use it quite the same.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe Kaylee could be on for that. We also had
Yeah.
Kaylee on. Imagine
Yeah.
that. You're on the podcast.
A few times.
Oh.
You're
Friend of
our most
podcast.
visited friend.
Yes. Friend of podcast Kaylee.
Can you guess who else was on?
Friend of podcast Summer.
Mm-hmm.
And friend of podcast Lou.
Twice.
Indeed. That was really fun.
That was fun.
I
really
love
liked.
having them on. It's so much fun. We didn't get Fizzy on this year, did we?
Mm-mm.
I didn't think so. Fizzy's been very busy.
Busy needs to be on the list.
Yes. Who else did we have? Did we have Bug at one point?
Nope.
I
We
think
tried to get Bug.
and then the
And
episode failed.
We had an episode that failed with Autumn too. At the very
Oh,
beginning of the year,
yeah.
we shot an episode with Autumn when we were still transitioning everything,
Mm-hmm.
and I lost the audio. I think is what it
Yeah.
was.
Jen was on.
Yeah, that was
Wife
the
of
last one.
podcast Jen.
Yep, wife
was
of
on.
podcast.
Who else?
I think that
Anybody
was it.
else?
That's everybody.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's a lot of people to have floating in and out. It's so much fun though. I love having other perspectives
Yeah,
because we can talk for days because we like understand one another's brains.
yeah.
But we need those foreign ideas. to
That's
be
what I
able to,
like the most
puzzle
about
over.
having people on
Yeah.
is just having a different perspective.
Yes.
Especially Harper. Harper was fun for me to watch because you two would argue almost.
I was
But
trying
not-
so hard to push him into like a more genuine appearance. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Because it was a little more. I think for Harper, he was more nervous
right.
than most of our other people.
Yeah.
And so I think I was like kind of pushing for.
Yeah.
I was looking for the underneath.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
But it was interesting though, just to watch the idea clash and
Yeah.
like you guys were civil. It's not
Oh,
like it
yeah,
got
yeah.
bad or anything.
No, it was really fun.
Mhm.
Like it was debate style almost. It was
Exactly.
really cool.
I
which
like having
love.
challenging guests.
Yes.
But yeah, that was our guest list.
Yeah. And we've had the Discord on a couple times.
Mhm.
Because we did a few episodes where we included the Discord.
Yep.
Was that this year?
Yeah, because
Maybe it
we
was.
did Austin's through Discord,
Yeah.
and then we did I think one more.
Yeah. I think Crystal was on one, maybe.
No, maybe I feel like she was, but I can't remember it.
I can't either.
Maybe we were
don't
talking
know.
about it. It might have been something we were like we should do
Yeah,
if they're interested.
maybe.
But yeah, talking about Crystal, our community's gotten a lot bigger.
Yes.
Like we were saying,
Yeah.
we've grown.
Quite a bit. And I love it. Every moment of it is just so much fun.
Yeah, our lives, the lives we do on Friday, I look forward to
Yes.
because it's so fun, just like hanging out. We usually get dinner and then just chill and
Uh-huh.
talk about whatever's going on.
And then we plan our episodes, and everybody in the Discord is really helpful with suggestions and
Oh, yeah.
ideas. And we've had a few that were just, and we've gotten more, I don't know, a little more confident in pushing the limits.
Oh yeah, oh
in
definitely,
places.
oh absolutely.
We're like, let's get controversial. Ready, go.
Yeah, well, my favorite episode this year was the letter, or
Oh, yes. The response to the article.
yes, that was my
Yeah.
favorite episode we did this year.
I have to go back and rewatch it because it was a good one.
It was-
We were mad.
Ooh.
We were mad. And when we're mad, we get funny.
Yeah, no, that was a good one.
It was
And-
a good one.
And I like the open letter too, the
Yeah.
one we redid.
The open letter was good.
Yeah, apparently it worked for people too. We got
Mhm.
feedback from people saying that
Yeah.
it was helpful.
We've had a lot of really good feedback. And it's, again, it's one of those things where you can only keep your, you can only keep your self-esteem so low for so long after people are like, no, you're amazing.
Yeah.
Shut up with your self-deprecation.
Yeah.
And just hearing what the podcast has done for other people.
That's humbling, yeah.
Really humbling. Like, it's such a boost for like we feel like we're doing the right things.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we question it. We're like, are we doing well? Like,
Right.
is this doing what it's supposed to do for other people?
Mhm.
And then getting that feedback is really that like springboard we need to
Yeah.
continue.
Well, like I've been struggling the beginning of the month. Like
Mhm.
it was struggling physically. And then emotionally, I wasn't sure if the podcast was it anymore. You know, I was
Yeah.
like, not that I wanted to stop it. I just wasn't sure that we were hitting the right notes, I guess.
Right.
You know?
Right track.
Yeah. And then we got feedback from like 5 people
Yeah.
all like that week. And I was like, oh, okay, never mind. I'm okay.
Right.
I'll be fine. I'll get over it.
I'll be fine. Yeah, I think you hit that point when you're like, when you've done a bunch of changes and then you plateau for a while.
Yeah.
And you hit that point like right before you're ready to make a bunch of changes.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've been thinking about what could be different, what we could do different, what we could like incorporate, what we could take out, what we could blah, blah, blah. And so you're like, this is terrible until you're ready to make a big change.
Yeah. So
and then we did. We made
how it worked.
Change. So
it's
crazy.
There's no more big changes to make. Now it's just little things.
Yeah.
Little
Now it's
changes.
perfect.
It's not perfect. It'll never be perfect.
Once that guy gets off this podcast, it'll be great.
Shut up.
Down with pink hair guy.
Shut up.
Up with new guy.
Who's the new guy?
I don't know. He's
That's
better.
when Chris dyes his hair purple.
Yeah, purple hair guy. Wow, he's suave. Look at him with this purple hair.
The purple.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I think that's it. All I had for notes because I went through the episodes and everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and we started the year at like 100 subs.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So we've almost doubled this year.
Mm-hmm. And as a tidbit,
Mm-hmm.
our average views is like in the in a month we usually get like 300, right?
Mm-hmm.
I started uploading the shorts and our views doubled already.
Holy moly.
We're now like 400 views more than our average.
Yeah. Which is crazy. And then we've had even in our lives, we've had people like drop in from nowhere.
Yeah.
I'd be like, what is this? And we're like, here's what this is. And they were like, cool. I like this.
Yeah.
And we like you too. So awesome.
Yeah, I think the lives are engaging enough
Yeah.
now. Like, because originally it was just us talking like on Discord.
Yeah.
With like one or two people at a time. But now
Right.
that we're doing the lives.
Yeah. Well, and we're more comfortable just like hanging back and chitting and chatting and letting me decompress because I'm usually coming from work.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's crazy.
Yep.
And then we watched our Wrapped yesterday.
Our Spotify end of year
Yeah.
wrap.
Which was cool.
There was a couple numbers I wanted to pull from it, so I'm going through it right now.
Okay.
I know we were like top 20 or we're in the
Top
we're in
20%.
we're in the top 1% for amount of content in our category.
Yes.
We're so prolific. we're at the 99 percentile.
Yeah. That's the other thing too, is like on our year 2, I am really proud of us for how consistent we have been. There have been a few times where we're like, no, we got to put it off a day. But there's very rarely a time where we don't put out an episode.
Yeah. Well, we're more comfortable doing that too. Like if we do a first half and then we don't feel great about like going on or like physically.
Right. Or if we shoot a second half and we're like, I didn't really like that.
Yeah.
We could have done better. We were both falling asleep at the wheel. And usually, I mean, like really actually falling asleep
at the wheel. Yeah.
We're like, this is not engaging if I am drowsing out.
Exactly.
So we're better at being able to like trash it and start again the next day.
Yeah.
Or even shooting partway through the week, which we've done before.
Mm-hmm. So our best episode was dysautonomia and comfort items.
Yep. On
this last year.
Spotify, yeah.
That's crazy. Well, it
I
makes
liked
sense.
that episode a lot. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Did we talk about building a ladder in that one at all?
We might have.
I feel like if we did comfort items, that would be part of it.
Right. Well, when we talk about building a ladder a lot, and like, again, we'll shout out Martina every time we do.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
she's
that's crazy.
The genesis of that.
Exactly.
So.
And the genesis of our diagnosis, really.
Yeah. Look what you did, Martina. How could you?
Right. That's the other thing. We've met other YouTubers, like Rainbow Reptiles coming through, and Dre of Sunshine.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Follow them, actually.
Yeah, go check them out.
Dre is just a peach. We love her.
She's so upbeat. It's lovely.
Go to our subscriptions
Adorable.
on YouTube. We're subscribed to her, so
Yes.
if you want to find her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've met other people who are kind of doing the same things or doing something similar to what we're doing. But I'm also realizing how unique we are in the fact that we are so experiential.
Oh yeah.
And that's one thing that I feel like I can actually be proud of.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Like we sit down and we're like, this is how things are in our world, in our life that we are living. And this is how it is for other people. And these are things that maybe I felt alone with before.
Yeah.
And then we put them out there. And oh my God, Krieg's reaction to the last episode.
Oh my God,
Oh,
yes. Thank you so much,
was
Krieg.
insane to hear somebody be like, yeah, no, I burst into tears because what you were saying hit so hard. And I thought I was alone in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it is the goal. It is the goal is to not feel so alone. We're not alone.
Yeah.
What we're going through is not unique. But because type A exists and the world is built for type A, we are shamed into our little corners and nobody's connecting. And until we're able to connect and actually live genuinely, we will not be
overthrow
happy.
type A.
Yes.
Yeah. Revolt.
The neurodivergence will take over.
Sounds like an X-Men plot. The neurodivergents are out to get us.
They're going to give us a tranquilizer dart that makes us type A.
I don't want to
That'd
be
be
type
so
A.
sad.
They're just gonna put us all down.
Not like death. She meant like verbally. Like,
No,
you
I
guys
meant-
suck.
No, I meant like euthanasia.
I was like,
There are
for
a lot
nap?
of young people in Asia. There are. They have a lot of people. Think of India. I'm glad that someone's thinking about the euthanasia. I'm just saying. That's very altruistic.
Thank you.
I don't
Yeah.
think we can be friends anymore.
Oh. Good thing you're forced to be my sibling for life.
Wahahaha. Yes.
Also,
Let's see.
what's up, Canada? Why are you guys slacking?
Right?
We got our results. And this might just be because the Canadians we know probably watched the
right,
podcast.
on YouTube.
But on Spotify, our number 2 is Denmark?
No,
Norway.
Netherlands.
Netherlands. The
I
Netherlands.
thought it was Norway.
Norway
Norway
is
was-
number 5.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it goes America, Netherlands, Canada.
Canada. And then, what was the next one? Can we skip through?
Yeah, I can go back up.
Let's see. Sorry, I'm missing our number 4. Who was our number 4? I want to say
Numero.
it was
Also Norway.
Germany.
Germany.
Yep.
Which makes sense.
So United States, Netherlands, Canada, Germany, Norway.
Which is weird because as far as I'm concerned, the only people we've talked to are from Colorado or
Canada.
Canada.
That is funny that there's so many people from Colorado
Yeah.
that listen.
Which I love, actually, because
Yeah.
that's like eventually we would love to like put together a gathering,
Yeah.
which
like
would
a-
just be so much fun.
a-
We're gonna have a conference, a convergence
Season
of
5
fantastic
launch party.
pains. There you go.
That's a good idea. / convention. I want to make it a convention.
Mhm.
I want people to show up and then dislocate. That's just what we do.
And then we can bring in like Apothecana and Body Braid, and they can have booths.
Yeah.
And then we can have art.
Could
and
you
then-
imagine if we just
be
got
so
like a
cool.
conference room
Yeah.
and actually just met people and filled it with stuff that is
Right.
comfort items or
Mhm.
helpful?
Well, and we're meeting so many people outside of our own conditions who are relating really strongly to what we're saying.
Oh yeah, the
And that-
experiences are universal.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's so many parallels between the things that we go through, even if it's not the same condition. And
Yeah.
we've learned, I mean, we haven't learned, we've known for a long time, but it kind of just backs up the idea that comparative suffering is not the way.
Right.
Relational suffering. Yay.
Yeah, like in our first season, we had that response from Logan saying that he was able to relate to the imposter syndrome
Yeah.
episode because he struggles with feeling like he hasn't earned what he has.
Yeah.
I was like, I know, man. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, that was the first comment that really got me thinking about how it's more for everyone than I thought.
Exactly.
Like we came in, we're like, oh, we're going to talk to like the small niche of people,
Right.
but it's
Well, because we were so careful to like, we didn't know how to go about how broad our experiences really were.
yeah. Well, yeah, it's like we started
We
the
were like,
podcast to like find people and
EDS.
relate,
Yeah.
feel less alone, and as we felt less alone, we realized how big everything can be.
Yes. And
Right.
how less alone everyone could be.
Mm-hmm.
So we got noisy.
Yep. So let's see
And
what
now
else.
we will never shut up ever again. I refuse.
So she says.
I do. I refuse. That's why, like, at work, I just am like, ow, 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 that hurt really bad. Hey, Summer, fix my shoulder.
Oh, yeah. So, interesting number here. Percentage of listeners that follow us on Spotify is really high.
Yeah, he was pessimistic and I was optimistic and I won. Haha.
I guess 24.
And then you were like, oh no, it's 12.
12, yeah.
I guess too high.
I dreamed too big.
And it was
but
37%, which is amazing.
That's a really good number.
Yeah.
They try us out and then they stick around.
Almost 40%.
And we're the top 20% most followed on Spotify for podcasts.
Which is amazing.
I'll take it.
Right?
Our conversion rate is really good.
Yeah.
That's what that says. And then about the people that we get on Spotify, the ones that stick around are the people who are looking for something new to themselves or searching for a specific subject.
Yeah.
And then they tend to stick around.
Yeah.
So they call it time travelers.
Yeah. And we have a bunch of people, like, when they start it, they tend to go back to the beginning and watch through, which is a little embarrassing, but also really, really cool.
It's so embarrassing because what Kaylee said stuck with me, that was season 0.
Yes.
It really was. It was like we were playing pretend in a way.
It was our birth.
Like, how do people do this? Let's pretend like we know what we're doing. And then we
were role playing to figure out how it worked.
I'm just impressed that we had the gall to do that.
Yeah.
Like, to start something new and stick with it, and even though we were doing bad.
We weren't even doing bad. We were just
bad. It was so bad.
It wasn't
cringy.
bad. It was like
it was a starting point.
We literally decided to do a podcast and then we started a podcast.
Yeah.
And the birth of the podcast was such a small period of time that we were like, podcast, oh,
yeah,
podcast. And then we sat down and we were like, how do we do this?
Yeah.
And I am so glad that I suggested that we videotape as well. Because that, I think, has done
Well, it was really funny, too, because I was like, we could. I originally wanted to, and then I talked myself out of it because I was, like, too self-conscious. I was like, I really don't want to be on video.
Well, and I am super, super self-conscious, like, about video. Not necessarily video. Video is okay. Like, picture for me is weird. Because I don't have a perception of myself, or I didn't at the time.
Yeah.
And it was weird that I was the one who was like, let's do that.
Yeah, well, and I had already planned it. So, like, when you said that, I was like, oh, easy. I'll just set it, and then I set it up.
Right.
Like, I thought about it. I just wasn't. I didn't have
and we had this weird period of not saying things because we weren't sure what the other person was thinking.
Yeah, for like the first 6 weeks, we didn't want to step on each other's toes.
Right, exactly. And then when we started getting noisier, we were like, oh, yeah, no, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
It's fine. And then even when we weren't, we were like, hey, talk me through your thinking.
Yeah. I mean, that was the struggle, was that we didn't know what we didn't know that we were both thinking it. And then we thought maybe it was just a weird thought. You know what I mean? Like, it was like,
because for me, I was like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. And the thought might not be a thought. I don't know.
Exactly.
I have no idea.
That happened a lot.
Yeah. And then it got bigger and it got better and it got closer and louder.
It did. And now look at us.
And now we're here.
We have nothing on the wall now.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we do. Maybe I put a picture here. Or there's a look at that thing on top of her head. Gross. How could you? And look at that cute thing. Oh, it's adorable.
Sorry. I'm done.
And look, a leprechaun right there.
Well, and then we got, I don't know, bolder and sillier. And when
we got comfortable.
When we realized people were okay with our sense of humor.
Yeah.
Because we weren't sure. We were like, we are off-putting.
We are.
That's what I thought anyway. I was like, I don't know. We're mad people. I don't know.
Right.
We're crazy.
Like I said, I've said this before, that when we hit 24 subs, it's like, okay, that's like everyone that we know that would be watching just to watch. And then we hit 36 or 37.
37.
And that was like weird to me. I was like, well, okay, people are actually liking this content.
And then it was 45. And then it was 49. And then we hit 50 without even realizing it. No, we were at 48. And then the next two happened really quickly.
Yeah, do you remember
when we realized
we went to break?
Filming.
And then I came back and we sat down on the couch and I went really loud and everyone was like, Chris. I was like, but look.
And we had hit 50.
We're on
And
track
I
for
wanted
200.
to celebrate our 180, but 180 came and went really quick.
We'll celebrate 200.
Yes. Oh, yeah. We're going to celebrate 200 hard.
Mm-hmm. Like, you have no idea.
With poppers and everything.
All right. Back to the numbers, because I got the next set.
Oh, yes.
So, our hours, I think hours listened to or hours
Mhm.
published. I'm not sure
I
what
don't
that
know
is.
what this is like. What's the percentage?
I think
mean?
it's listened. Our hours are up from last year.
Yeah.
So, compared to,
up by
yeah.
wow.
229% more hours. And then 225% more streamed, which is amazing.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of viewership.
Uh-huh.
And then we've gained 130% in followers on
Mhm.
Spotify specifically. And then we have 100% more
Doubled.
listeners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doubled in our listeners, which is so cool. And we were keeping track of like who was downloading, and we had a ton of downloads, which was just so strange to me, but really, really cool. So thank you for hanging out and listening. And for those of you who watch, and if you're listening on a different platform, this is only Spotify. But it's just crazy.
Yeah. And like now we're new to a bunch of new ones.
Yes.
This one is a good number too. We're in the top 10%. Top 10 podcasts for 50 people.
That's crazy.
So for 50 people, we're in their top 10.
Yep.
And then
this
for
one is-
for 36 people, we're in their top 5.
5.
And then we're number 1 for 16.
Good job, you 16.
And I
We
know at
love
least
you.
4 of them. 5, maybe 5.
Well, I'm sure it's our friends in the Discord.
Yeah.
More
I
than
hope.
likely.
But that's basically half of our viewership keeps us at least their top 10.
Yeah.
That's good. That makes me feel
Which is
better.
amazing.
Yeah, yesterday when I was busting everything out and going through this, I was like, oh,
It got all
cute."
emotional.
I
It was
did.
very cute. I just am like blown away, and I don't even know what to think or feel about it. Like, part of me feels the pride in it,
Yeah.
right? Like, I'm proud of what we've created. But I was thinking about this earlier. Like, I want to be so careful not to get too big for our britches, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah. I
don't think we would.
no, that'd
But
be
for
weird.
me,
Oh no, you
it's-
have imposter syndrome.
Yes.
That's never gonna happen.
Right? But even like when I do my makeup, I'm so careful to not be like, I don't want it to be like plastic, right? I want to still be me and person and a human being. We have 112.
I haven't looked at these
followers.
numbers before
Oh, on
Spotify.
Spotify. What?
It's like, assuming there's no crossover, which I'm sure there is,
Oh yeah.
but there are 112 people that follow us on Spotify.
Yep.
And we had 200 listeners.
Which is really cool.
Little numbers for a little podcast, but
Streams.
I'm
and
impressed.
Stars. Well, and really, we're less than 2 years old,
Mhm.
and I don't actually have any idea how long it takes to get off the ground for anything. But we started this whole thing not even thinking about getting off the ground. We were just like, we're gonna make a thing because we want a thing, and it doesn't actually exist.
Yeah.
So we're gonna create it, and so we created it thinking that it wouldn't go anywhere.
Right.
And now we are moving forward, which is super strange and crazy.
Someday I'm going to make this podcast a huge deal, and Kaylee's going to work for me. And then I'm going to boss her around and be like, Kaylee, where's my coffee?
give art
I'm
now.
unemployed.
And she'll say, no. And I'll go, glad I'm paying you.
She's our artist. Thank you. We don't copy our artists.
No, we don't.
Finished.
Pretty.
I like it.
Can we show the viewers?
Sure.
Look what Kaylee made. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. I kind of really like that.
Right?
Like, yeah.
It looks really good on the camera.
It's a Sesame Street wall. That's where my brain went, and then I went directly to Nick Let's Go. So,
I can't believe how into him you are. It's great.
well, it's him and Ghost right now,
Yeah.
and they have nothing in common.
Nope.
At all. Actually, it might be some of the like religious deconstruction bits, but I have no idea. Very weird.
I'm trying to find
Holy cow, we have 91 episodes.
on Podbean. Yeah.
Wow.
Here we go. Distribution. I want to see our new ticks.
That's amazing.
Look at
Okay, so where are we at now?
We're still
we
processing
were-
here.
We've
So-
had Google Podcast.
Podbean,
Podbean,
Spotify, and
Spotify.
Amazon. Had those.
Yes.
Everything from there down is new.
Wow.
So now we're on iHeartRadio, Player FM, Listen Notes, Samsung, Podchaser, and Boomplay I don't think I applied for.
I don't know what that is. So, Nate.
Now we're at most podcasting sites, like big ones. So
Yes. That's so cool.
yeah. I worked hard yesterday. I feel
He did
good.
work really hard. He was like, you have to come over so I can tell you all the things that I've done.
And shorts.
And
I'm
show
excited
you
about
all
the
the
shorts.
stuff. I love the shorts. Those make me so happy. Because we were thinking about the shorts on the same day at the same time.
Yeah.
And then you did it. And I came over and I was like, I'm going to talk to him about shorts. And he had already done it. Magic.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. This whole thing has been an experience.
Oh yeah.
And I think in the next half, we'll get into more of what it's done as far as how we've changed over the last year and
personal growth,
our relationships and
yeah,
social growth and social.
You look so angry too, putting them away like meticulously, looking angry. Like I am done with these people. You know what? I'm leaving right now.
That's our cue to go on break so we can chase Kaylee down. Make sure she doesn't leave.
Yeah, she can't leave.
She has to go back in the basement.
Good. Just to go back in the basement.
Oh.
It's where we keep
Not
them
in the basement.
when we're not using
The
them.
guests.
Do the art.
Put them away in the basement.
Get in the
Get up
basement,
here
do
and
the
do
art.
the art.
I think I'm gonna have a guest today. Can you go down to the basement and grab one?
Well, the only one that was like even presentable was Kaylee. Ooh, okay.
It's gonna be that kind of day.
No, I love having you on.
Me too. It's always fun to have our guests on. All right. Break time?
Break time.
Break time. All right, my friends. You know what to do, and if you don't, you're going to hear it. You need to take your meds if you haven't already.
Yep. You need to drink water.
Yes.
Stay hydrated or dehydrate.
Yep. Kaylee, what do they need to do?
Take a nap?
You
That's a
could
good
take
idea.
a nap. Naps are awesome.
We
Oh.
don't condone for that enough. We should.
Yeah.
If you have time and are burned out and feeling it, take a
Right.
nap.
Have a nap, dude. Never be ashamed of your naps. You need to have a snack because
You are a snack.
are a snack.
It's true.
Take the compliment. Do it.
Don't argue. We'll find you and then compliment you.
To death.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, and do something
Oh,
nice for
no.
yourself.
Find the sun.
Yeah. Unless it's freezing out.
Don't stare at it. But like
Don't be me.
hang out in the sunlight for a little bit if you can.
And if you
It's good
can't.
for your sleep.
Hug a pet. Find a pet.
Yes.
Pet a pet.
Fuzzy socks.
Get a chia pet. And then pet your chia pet.
Don't pet the chia pet.
Anyway,
Bob Ross. Anyway.
she's possessed by a Tourette's demon.
Oh God, it's the Tourette's ghost. He strikes again. His name is Clarence, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
He has a name as of today.
He's been messing with our focus.
Yes.
The
That's why
actual-
I
the
have
camera
ADHD.
focus.
Mhm.
Well, I guess that focus
Yeah.
too.
All right, you know what to do. Do the things. Take care of you because you're awesome. You deserve good things. End of story. So don't argue with me.
Mhm.
And we're going to go do some of the things for ourselves. We'll be back in a minute. Bye. Hey guys, did you know that Fantastic Pains now has a website? On our website, you can find our shop where we will be opening up for custom t-shirts and orders there. You can also find access to our PayPal, Winky Wink. You can buy us a coffee anytime. We would love that. You can also see some of our blog articles, access to recent episodes and our TikTok, and get in contact with us.
You can also find a link to our Discord, which is getting updated pretty soon to include new channels and some games. We would also like to thank our producer for setting up the website. Thank you for supporting us and enjoy the rest of the show.
Indeed. Thank you.
Welcome back. For real this time.
Yes.
How was your break?
Did you do the things? Any of the things?
Some of it?
Some of the things.
Or you can get to it later. As long as
Yeah.
you do something from the list, you're pretty
Right.
much going to get a passing grade.
Schedule in a break for yourself somewhere.
Mhm.
Doesn't mean you have to stop. And you can take like a short break. And
Yeah.
that's okay. But we're back after a long delay because my brain decided that blood was optional.
Well, we had a false start where I
was
pretended to
funny.
start in the middle of her being distracted, like usual. And then she fainted.
Yeah. For a while.
It's always about her. You know, she can't just do one podcast where it's not me. I was actually worried because I was worried you were going to fall out of the chair
Oh no, really? Was it that bad?
for a second. Yeah.
Ooh. It was one of those like conscious faints.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's like a real thing. Like I don't know. I just don't know.
Right.
I just do it.
That's such a subjective thing. Like,
I'm like, I can hear you. I just can't.
Right. I'm
do
processing
anything about
sound, kind of.
Yeah.
And I can't see. Weird.
Or hear sometimes.
Yeah.
That's how it starts, actually. Is like, I get like ringing, and then I lose hearing on one side or both. And then everything kind of zooms out, and then I get stuck.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I can't come back. But now I'm back.
And better than ever.
Yeah. With food. We got a food.
Yeah. Needed the food.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So for this half, we wanted to talk about more of the personal journey that we've had.
Yeah.
So like, we've grown a lot through the channel.
Yes.
And through the
my
podcast,
God.
especially this year. And like accountability.
Yeah.
And what else? There was some other stuff.
There's a bunch. Like, it's not on here, but gaining some confidence and changing our viewpoints on ourselves. And beyond like the confidence, being able to think of ourselves more positively. Yeah. Just in general.
Oh man. Well, okay. I said we should start it with like
that's
the like where we were beforehand.
Yes.
And that's a good one because I didn't have any sense of self-worth before.
Yeah.
Like I was depressed and I was like, I don't contribute to anything. I'm just a drain and I'm ruining everyone's lives.
Yeah.
Genuinely thought that. But through the podcast, I've been able to be like, I do a thing and I help people and it's worthwhile. Yeah. You know, it's helped me a lot.
Right.
I mean, I have confidence.
Yeah. There's like a difference in self-worth for sure. And I think like thinking back to where we were before. So I had just come off of left hip surgery. So I had had both hips done within that like year time frame.
Yeah, within a year.
Yeah. And I was, we had just bought a house a couple of months before that. I was trying to balance or like learn how to balance between like work and keeping a home and cooking and relationships, and was kind of branching out a little bit more as I got a little more comfortable in all of that. But it was a time where, and I talked about this a lot before, where I didn't have self-perception, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't able to think about what I looked like from the outside or who I was from the outside, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I get you.
I don't feel like I'm explaining it accurately, but yeah, I didn't have that self-image in my brain.
Right.
So it was very interesting to get to see me and hear me and like identify with that. It also was a time where like I was strictly against labeling in general.
Oh yeah.
Because I had to keep the walls up between self and body, and those walls had to be so strict that I was
we both
like,
started
I can't
there.
Identify as anything. I have to be fluid. But yeah, and like self-confidence was not something that was super high. Like it was there in small circles.
Right.
But I was not somebody who would have stood up in front of a group of people and spoken my mind at all.
Right.
And now that has definitely shifted.
Oh, that's so bizarre. Like I never thought that would be a thing.
Right.
Like once we got comfortable sitting on the couch and everything, even then I was like still kind of camera shy. But over the last year especially.
Yeah.
I don't mind. It really doesn't bother me. Even the idea of doing it doesn't stress me out like it used to.
Right.
Like I took public speaking in high school. I passed. Like I did all the assignments, but I didn't like present well.
I go into like fight or flight every time I have to do public speaking.
Yeah. Which
is funny because I'm a teacher and I'll teach in front of a class of kids, but like speaking in a group of other humans is very difficult. But also like learning that not being perfect was exactly where we wanted to be was really comfortable and comforting, and it didn't put pressure on us.
I was going to say, could you imagine had we like attacked this and be like, everything must be perfect.
Right. And scripted.
Yeah. Oh.
We tried scripting something, a couple things along the way, and That never went well.
No,
we were like, no, trash it.
We can have bullet points.
Yeah.
Like things that we're like, oh, I want to talk more about this, but we can't be like, hi there, my name is insert name here.
Right.
How was your day? Like I couldn't deliver that if it was written.
Your day?
Did I say that like a people?
Right. Am I human?
And then like watching it back was painful. Being like, oh, that was so bad.
Right. Well, and now like learning that being genuine is exactly where we're supposed to be it's translated into other parts of our lives where we feel more comfortable being wholly genuine and we don't feel like we have to mask nearly as much. And that's the other part. I think for me especially, my journey through the podcast has meant that I am comfortable taking the mask off a lot of the time and a lot more than I would have before.
Yeah. Did you ever have a point where like you didn't want certain people to see the podcast because you're like,
oh yeah,
because we were pretty vulnerable from the
yeah.
get-go, but we weren't like comfortable with it.
Yeah. Oh, there were. I was like, don't tell anybody we have a podcast.
Well, I didn't want to in the beginning because I was afraid it wouldn't last. Because I've started so many projects that just never took off. But
that was the other part, was we were on top of it and we kept it going, and it happened every week. And it wasn't like we had to push through and slog through to get it done.
No. We even did episodes where like, I feel like shit. Let's just feel like shit and let people see.
Right. Well, and that was a huge step to be able to be like, let's let people see what that's like. Like, let's tell people about how I just fainted
right
at the table. Woohoo!
Well, it's cool. That's translated into the community. Like we were having conversations last night, and Crystal had some funny stories.
Oh, it was so great.
That we can't retell here, but I mean, if you want to hear them, you got to go and be lives. Just saying. But she doesn't mind being open with us. Like it's because that's how we approach it.
Yeah, the genuine nature of everything is just refreshing, and it's a breath of fresh air through everything that we have to go through where we have to mask.
Yeah.
Or where we're expected to mask, I guess is the better way to put that. But yeah, it feels more natural to be more natural.
Yeah.
And I think we started out afraid that our genuine selves we were not going to be acceptable in that space.
Like we were worried at the beginning that what we were producing was too much.
Yeah.
Like too flippant. We had so many conversations about we're just so off-putting and flippant. Like no one's going to like this.
Yeah.
You know?
And we used to use like flippant as like a bad thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because we'd heard it a lot where people are like, well, you're just so flippant. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, yeah, no, I can be however I want to be about my condition and my pain. Like I'm not, my attitude towards my pain and myself does not have to be other people's attitudes. And I appreciate that from the beginning, we were always like, this is us. This is not like, we never came at it from the angle of like, this is what you should think or this is what you should do. It was like, here's what we go through. Anybody else out there?
Yeah. Well, and that makes people comfortable too. Like when we have guests on.
Oh, yeah.
Like the first time we had Lulu on.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, no, I can do this. This is comfy.
Yeah.
Like I get to just be me. Like, yeah.
Well, and we got to hear that so many times. And even just this year, people would come on and be like, no, that was comfortable and okay. And it didn't have me nerve wracked. And I feel good about that. And I want to do it again.
Yeah.
Because it was fun. And so hearing that feedback was just amazing. But we had to open ourselves up for that feedback. And that was a lesson I think we learned a lot through the podcast.
Oh, definitely. I am definitely not the same person from before.
Yeah. Where were you at?
I wasn't like at a low because I was still coming out of like the bad era, but it was improving.
It was the time of Concerta.
Yeah. I couldn't focus on things before. Like I had no energy. And I had no self-respect or esteem because I was like, I don't produce anything. I'm a drain. Even my kids don't it's not true, but like in my head, I'm like
thinking of being a burden.
Right.
Yeah.
It just would not leave me.
Yeah.
Even though logically I'd be like, no, we talked about this. This is what we wanted.
Right.
I still couldn't accept it.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, now I just feel more comfortable in general, especially when I talk to doctors.
Right.
Like, I don't have to have Jen come anymore to like remind me to say things, which is really big because I can be like, oh no, it's been horrible.
Right.
this and this happened.
Yeah. Well, it was a lot of allowing ourselves to do things and to be things and say things and think things and share things. We learned that we were allowed to communicate these ways, and
hopefully that's been passed on to people.
Yeah.
Like people watching.
Right.
That attitude of just I can say things now.
Right.
I'm allowed to.
I say that, like, as soon as I learned that I was allowed to communicate my pain, I never shut up again.
No.
And I plan to never shut up ever again. Because
unless I tell her to.
Right.
I would never.
He debossa me. I live in the basement and he beats me with sticks.
Categorically untrue.
What category?
Pain for 1,000.
You're welcome. I don't know what that was, but there you go.
Yeah.
Now, what about your self-talk?
Oh my God, you know. Oh my God. I was so mean to myself before. Like, and it improved through doing the group therapies and then talking. I think for me, it's been talking about it and like reteaching it that's been better for me than actually hearing it the first time.
Oh, yeah.
So like, I knew it was bad to do bad self-talk, and I knew like things, I just never practiced it really. But since then, like it's hard to find me being genuinely mean to myself.
Yeah.
Like I'll kid, but I'm not like actually down on myself about things.
Right. Yeah. And like you said, like the reteaching aspect is huge. To be able to get up and be like, well, these are the things that I know logically and can share with other people. And then to be able to think about ourselves being both the audience and the teacher.
Right.
Is a big piece, I think. So being able to say it to others and include ourselves in that and learning it that way has been huge.
Yeah.
And I think there's an aspect of like accountability to it with our
we
audience
can thank
and
Ruth
our
for that.
friends. Yeah. Oh my God.
The first time we interacted with Ruth was via email, and she said just wonderful things. And after we read that, we were like, it's not just us anymore. Like there are people and they actually get it. It was I want to say needed at that time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It was like a spark that started something much bigger.
Yeah.
Like we were kind of rolling, but it was something totally different. And hearing it and not expecting it at all.
Right.
Not expecting to be, I don't know, to be other people's safe places.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And then to be accountable to keep it that way and to keep it genuine. And in order to keep it genuine, we had to evolve also.
Yeah.
And through that evolution, we've been bettered, I think.
Oh, yeah.
By far.
Yeah. No, like, do you remember how, like, if you had, like, major things going on and you'd be like, we'd be talking and I'd want to give you advice, I'd have to translate through Jen.
Yeah.
Be like, Jen, take the phone. This is what I want to say, but I don't know how to word it appropriately.
Right.
Like, I don't do that at all anymore. There's, like, zero need.
Right.
I just feel comfortable being myself.
Right. Like,
and trusting that I know how to help. That makes sense.
Well, and I think that's a big piece, too, is because we were not in a place to be able to acknowledge that we've got a lot of trauma, and through that trauma we've been gifted a lot of social awareness, self-awareness, and emotional intelligence. And we weren't even able to admit that before because it felt conceited.
Oh yeah, anything that we thought of a positive of ourselves is us being just over the moon for ourselves.
Right.
We're like, ugh, that's gross.
Yeah.
I am not that person.
And then we had to second guess our instinct, being like, well, who am I to think I know that?
Right.
We're like, hi, you don't know anything. Like, your instincts are all wrong. And then coming to a point where we're like, no, like, we have this strength.
Yeah.
in our lives, and we can use that and our ability to converse so fluidly with each other to open conversations that other people have been wanting to have and haven't had the opportunity or the space.
Yep. I had a thought and then I lost it. It was a really good one too.
Sorry.
No, it's not your bad.
Talking over.
It came and went. But
we were talking accountability.
Yeah.
And then growing the community has really helped too, because the more people come in, we're realizing we're attracting the right people, and there are more people like us than we ever thought.
Oh, definitely
existed.
Oh my God! Like it really is nice. And I was always worried. I remember how scared we were when we launched the Discord.
Yes.
I was like, this is going to be bad.
That was terrifying. I was like, we're going to lose our whole thing.
Yeah.
We're going to lose it to
everything
the wrong
off
people.
The rails, and it took us I think 2 months.
Yeah.
We brought it up at some point we want one.
Mm-hmm.
We're not ready for it though.
Yeah.
It's scary and we don't want that.
Yeah.
Because that's opening up to more people and getting their feedback directly.
Right.
Was I think part of it.
Yeah.
At least.
Being like, oh, they're not going to like us.
Yeah, they're going to let us know how bad we are.
They're going to think that that's an act when it's not an act, and we're actually just like that.
I always worry about that still. Just that we're being perceived that way. But I don't think we come off
well, and I think
fake. But
the people who are able to see us in the lives realize that really quickly, that this is so far from an act. This is just us having a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We come up with ideas and bullet points, but beyond that, there's no scripting.
Right.
We have things we want to touch on in our conversations, but this is how we speak to each other all the time.
You can ask Haley, she knows.
Yeah.
I'm abusive. I'm just like rah, 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 mean things. That's how I greet people.
Exactly like that, in quotations.
It's true.
See?
He's a monster.
I'm less of a monster now, if anything.
Sure.
But yeah.
Well, you don't believe yourself to be the monster anymore.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just happy that the community kind of grew itself and that it was a nice community.
Well, and everything within the podcast has felt so natural. When we make those changes, it always feels like the time to make those changes and to open more doors and to try new things and to do things differently. And we kind of just take that step as it comes, and it feels natural and easy, and not easy like everything within the podcast is super easy.
Oh,
but
no.
It doesn't feel forced.
No, we really do. It's and we'll have the same thought at the same time, which is really funny.
Yeah.
With the shorts. I just did the shorts yesterday, and she was thinking about it before she came over. She was going to be like, hey, we should do the shorts.
Yeah.
And I was like, done?
Yeah. Because I thought there was some, we had to have this many views or whatever.
There was for a bit or something, because we didn't have access to it.
And then I kept seeing these, people drawing hand turkeys or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, if they can have shorts, we can have shorts.
Yeah.
I need to talk to Chris.
Yeah. No, I figured it out.
But, yeah.
But every step we've taken it seems natural.
Mm-hmm. Well, and we've talked a little bit before about how there are points within our journey in the podcast where we kind of look at each other and we're like, it feels like we were always coming here.
Yeah.
And that's
it gave birth to itself.
Feeling. Yeah.
I was on a whim. Bam. Podcast.
Yep.
I didn't even ask you. It was we're doing the podcast on Saturday.
Uh-huh. And my husband the next week was like, oh, you're still doing that? And then the third week he was like, oh, wow, you guys are following through. And I was like, yeah.
Surprised ourselves,
we're
honestly.
following through. And then we were so worried about the 6 week.
Oh, yeah, the
hump,
6 week
is that what
burnout.
it is?
Burnout, yeah.
Yeah. And we were so worried. And then it came and went, and it was easy. It was fine. And we just kept going, and we kept evolving and changing. And it's just so, it really is the avenue that we've taken for emotional growth.
Yeah. And I think we've passed it on too.
Yeah.
Because just listening to the way people talk in Discord is, you can tell certain people have definitely improved themselves.
Yeah.
They feel more at ease, and they hand out advice. They're not which is beautiful. They don't force it on people like
right.
some communities do, where it's like, this is the only answer here.
Right.
This is how we do things in our, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's none of that. It's like, I tried this and it didn't work, but you should, look into it.
Right. Like, there's no harm in doing the different thing, but this is the thing that works for me.
Yeah.
And then I think it also helps that the Discord is so broad. We have so many different ways for people to interact with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have a pets tab on there and a memes tab and like off-topic stuff that's just random.
We're gonna set up a we've talked about this before, but we're gonna be setting up like an Excel or a like weekly check-in.
Yeah.
For people to kind of check how they've been doing, things they've been going through, like physically.
Yeah.
And then we can kind of relate and track that way too.
Right.
Just to see what's going on, because like a lot of the times we'll get on the live and we'll be like, this happened this week, and like 4 people would be like, oh yeah, no, it was horrible.
Yep.
And it also would just be handy, I think, for people who don't remember everything.
Yes.
When they go to the doctor.
Yeah.
They'll have like a tangible sheet that they can be like, hey, look, this is what's been going on with me.
That's a big one. I think I broke the mic. There we go.
There you go.
Better.
I just had to touch it.
I don't know what it is. It's because I move around so much.
It's your aura. It's
My
too
aura.
powerful.
My electrical's screwed up and it screws up everything else. Great. But yeah, no, like the advice we get from other people is always so, I don't know, you get to describe what's happening with you and people are like, oh yeah, I know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what that is. Here's what I've done about it. Here's how I discovered it. Here's how I brought it up to my doctor.
Yeah.
Like, there's just, it opens so many more doors for so many different people with things that people like wouldn't think to talk to each other or to a doctor about.
Even this week, we had someone. I just caught part of the conversation, but someone was saying, "Oh yeah, that is weird. Like that doesn't make sense." And then there was more advice afterwards. It's just, I'm not on the Discord as much. I should.
I'm doing better because I have Discord again. It's great.
I turned notifications back on.
Yes.
I had to mute it for a while.
Right.
It was just so popping.
Well, and it's just a nice place to be able to share what we've learned.
Mm-hmm.
So like when I did the pain group, even through the podcast, like we'd reflect on it a lot.
It's funny, in my head it's an arc, it's a story arc. So the therapy times when we would like go to therapy and then do the episode and then we would talk about it, that's the therapy arc.
That was good stuff. I liked that time. No,
that's something else that's gotten better, the editing. I've learned a lot.
Well, we stopped needing to edit a lot.
Yeah,
really, because after we went through the every 30 minutes piece, like going back to one straight shoot, it was so easy.
Mm-hmm.
So easy.
No, putting it back together now is, it opened me up to do more time to have other things, like doing more lighting and working on color corrections and finding TikToks, things like that. Mm-hmm. Now I have more time.
It was fun
over this last year.
Let's see.
Let's look at the list.
Being able to help others. Oh yeah, the pain group. The pain group was useful because we were able to share language and strategies.
Yeah, it gave us a lot of tools.
Yes, it also gave us a lot of reassurance and validation because they were doing things that we were already doing internally.
Yeah, that's why you didn't feel challenged.
Nice. Yeah,
but it was nice to know.
It was also
doing it right.
Really frustrating to have somebody question that you already do it.
Right.
Because you're like, no, I already do these things. And they're like, no, clearly you can't already be emotionally developed.
Right.
You have to have stuck points. And I'm like, but I don't around the pain.
No, we have stuck points from other things that we were able to work through.
Yes. Well,
I worked through like a
really
bunch.
Useful. Being able to use.
It's 3.
It's time for meds. I accidentally snoozed it for 5 minutes.
Better take your
My
meds.
bad, friends. Ugh. But yeah, it gave us a lot of reassurance that we were already on the right tracks. Because we didn't know. Like, we thought we were working through things.
Yeah.
But we also have imposter syndrome, and we don't ever know.
What do you think,
if
Kaylee?
we're doing it right.
Are you surprised that we're still doing it?
No.
Really? I love you. You had way more faith in me than I did.
Well, I think by the time I even found out you were doing a podcast, you'd already been doing it for a while.
I think it was like a month or 2. Yeah.
And like, I could tell it was something that you cared about. a lot.
Yeah.
And I didn't really question about whether or not you would keep going. It just
Right.
you guys seemed like you already had the habits.
Well,
so
yeah, I
you
didn't
were
want to
into
do that
it.
thing where you announce it to
And then
everyone,
it falls through.
and then you have
Like
that
I
awkward
did, yeah.
conversation the next time. No, I still think that project's not dead. I want to reshoot it though.
It was really funny.
It was actually really funny.
I liked it a lot. If you ever need an audience to like give you direct feedback while you're doing it, I'll sit in the corner and giggle.
Okay.
Because that did help.
Yeah.
Having you in was
Oh, it was funny. I liked it a lot. It was good stuff.
sidetrack.
Also, that we did a lot of other people being like, wow, you could do that. Maybe I'm going to try that.
There's a TikTok about this
Exactly.
where she goes out and she hands out advice, inspiring people to make their own podcasts
Oopsies.
because she doesn't know how math works. Clearly, listen. If you're going to tell people that they could do what you're doing, half of your viewership mathematically has to go to them. It's just math and science.
No, they have to go get their own viewership like an MLM. They don't steal yours.
Well, see, I feel like they do steal mine because I'm insecure.
Yeah, you feel like.
Did you tell someone they could start a podcast and then you saw a decrease in your numbers?
Yes.
No.
Well, then you're
I told
right.
her we could do a podcast and my numbers went down and her numbers went straight through the roof.
You guys have the same numbers.
Sometimes.
Okay.
I mean, that was literally the TikTok, is me just berating her for telling people
Yeah.
that they can do TikTok
It
or
was great.
podcasts.
Podcasts. Yep. That was good times.
You know what we could talk about real quick
Hmm.
was the cluster mess of the
Oh no, the pilgrims.
pilgrims.
Yes.
That was a thing that happened.
Ooh, we learned a lot.
I learned a ton in that time.
Yeah.
It was a good challenge.
Pilgrims?
Yeah.
Yes.
We hosted a
Like
live stream
online
for two
conference thingy.
two conferences for these pilgrims in their society association.
Thing.
And we did a dry run, which was a mess.
Yes.
And then we did the final run, which I think
Oh, it was gorgeous.
it came out perfect.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it was a lot.
I
It
was
was
worried about the sound
exhausting
all the
for
time.
you.
And
Like, you were burnt by the end, but holy cow, you learned a lot, and you made that thing shiny
I tried.
and beautiful.
I really did.
It was
and
amazing.
That was the inspiration for getting this thing. So
Yeah.
I'm pointing at my soundboard mixer.
You know what else? You're not gonna like what I'm gonna say.
Oh,
I'm
no.
sorry. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. We also learned that what we thought was like a general sibling relationship where we like got along is not, and that what we have is kind of unique. Because we had a lot of people who were like, my siblings are not like that. I do not have a sibling relationship like that. That's not sibling things. And we also learned like how truly in sync we really are, because we had the joke, right?
Yeah.
Twins
We
born
were
years apart. And then it evolved, and then it was confirmed repeatedly.
Yeah.
There are tons of moments, and I think there's like a compilation
There,
somewhere.
from the beginning, yeah, there's a
Yeah.
compilation in the Goofs.
In
playlist.
our of our in sync moments, and we have them multiple times per podcast.
Yeah.
And then outside of podcasts.
My favorite moments are though when like one of us starts talking and then the other one goes like, what are you even, and then like halfway through like, oh no, I know what this is.
Yeah.
But like there's that like moment where we're out of sync for a second
Uh-huh.
and then we're like, oh, this
So,
is
like,
confusing.
You gotta find the wavelength.
What's
and then you're
happening?
like, oh, got it.
Right, that thing. Those are fun.
But yeah. And I think through the podcast, you and I have had a lot of time to like explore our relationship and
Oh yeah.
each other's personalities and all of it. And that we're
It's
gonna
back.
turn it off now. Turn off. Thank you.
Dumb
I
watch.
took my meds. Thank you very much.
Dumb smartwatch.
So stupid. But I think we're closer.
Oh,
For
yeah.
sure. For sure.
For sure.
And you're like kind of my best friend. So
well, you have to fight Kaylee for that title.
what? No, you are my best
No, Kaylee, all best friend rights in every direction have to come from her.
Oh, okay.
Not granted.
She's a
kind of my
stickler for
best
the bureaucracy.
brother.
There you go.
Okay, I can't take that from you.
No, not yet.
I'm
Someday.
working on it.
She's acquiring the rights to everything me.
Oh God.
She's Disneying my life.
I was gonna say you're gonna be trademarked. Copyrighted.
I won't even be able to show up in my own podcast because I don't have the rights to me. Like, I can't appear.
We'll have to mute you and blur your
It's just
image.
yeah.
And I'll be talking to myself. It'll be fun.
Good point, Blob. Like, yep.
We'll have to hire someone to voice over.
Bleep out your name every time she says it.
Yeah.
I'll just go back to calling you Frito.
Yeah.
Trademarking that too.
You can't. That was pre-Kaylee.
Barely though.
Yeah.
But
But
barely.
it was.
But barely. Kaylee, I've known you forever now.
Feels like it.
I think over half my life at this point.
Yeah, I mean it's been over half my life.
Yeah. More important than mine.
That's the other
As
thing.
far as I'm
No.
concerned.
I got to get to know Kaylee through the podcast, which was really fun.
Yeah.
I don't know why you'd want to do that.
Because I like you.
You're crazy.
You're dumb.
I am dumb and crazy,
What's
but you
wrong
know
with you?
what? I'm sharing it with everybody.
Making this everybody else's problem.
Yeah.
God, you
I've
always like
woken up
this.
and I will be kind to others until they all explode.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing that I got out of this, I guess, is outside validation.
Mhm.
And being able to help people helped me with my self-worth, knowing
Yeah.
that like all the experiences that we've had, the negative ones that we're always talking about, were actually for a reason.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it gives it a reason to have happened.
Right. Well, and that they were not unique.
Yeah. It wasn't just me against the world
Yeah.
or us against the world.
Right. And that we
It's
could share them.
The raccoons against the world.
Exactly. Because we are trash pandas.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, learning that we didn't have to hide those things because they weren't dirty laundry.
Right.
They were part of our history and where we come from and who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the underwriting to where we are now.
That's fair.
And it's important. And it helps other people understand us.
So what are we going to do next year? Like, what are our future goals? Where do we go from here?
We're going to grow. We are going to grow because we just expanded again. So,
Hopefully.
yeah.
I'm hoping. Fingers crossed.
We planted some seeds and now we shall water them
Mm-hmm.
and watch them grow. And maybe, I don't know, what are you noticing that you are like already itching to change? So I'm sure there's something.
Not really. It's like I said, it's more little things.
Yeah.
Like I want to do more editing stuff. I want to do more interview type things because we haven't done
Yes.
mini voices since we started the mini voices playlist. Like we might have a guest over winter break.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a bomb.
Yes.
I would love that.
Be really cool.
But there was something that was kind of big, but I can't remember what it was. It'll come to me. Just give me time.
Okay.
I'll stew. Let me look around the room and be like, what was it? Which one of you have failed me? It was you. No. That box is falling over. Remind me to fix it
I
later.
was like, what is it? The mushroom? There's a mushroom up there, by the way. I'm not crazy.
She's crazy.
There's also,
Always talking
there's
about
also zebras.
mushrooms.
Oh, look,
Trips.
it's Greg.
I know, right?
It's Greg.
Hi, Greg.
Hi, Greg. There you go.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll figure it out.
There will be something.
Oh,
I'm sure.
yeah. No, there is for sure something.
Yeah, we're never happy to just plateau, I think.
No,
We just grow. We do. We're like, how do next thing?
well, when we plateau, like the panic sets in. Like that's when I'm like, oh no. Clearly
Yeah.
we've done something to offend everybody.
Well,
This is
and
not
we
the
had a
case.
moment because there were a few things where we couldn't put into the Facebook groups because they
Mhm.
just weren't like relevant or share friendly.
Yeah.
And so I think that affected our growth as well. But I know for you, like, you watch the numbers and then mania sets in and you're like, dear God.
Yeah. Yeah. If the mania is happening, then it's for reals.
Yeah.
Ugh. And that's when I start personalizing it too. I'm like,
Mhm.
oh no, what did I do? And then I go back and I'm like replaying
I'm
everything.
the worst.
I can't believe I said that. Oh my god! Now everyone's gonna. I'm canceled. I'm canceling myself. Actually, you know what? Let me get on Twitter and cancel me.
Well, okay, so here's a question.
Just post an apology video. Out of
I'm so
nowhere.
sorry.
And then I show back up and you have to apologize for the apology video.
Like I was out of line when I said
And
it.
I'm like standing there like, God damn it. How has your recognition of your like highs and lows and mental health trends in general. How's that evolved? Has it evolved?
Oh, it's
through
evolved.
the podcast.
Absolutely. Because I was new to being bipolar at the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm pretty sure.
New to being bipolar
Well,
or
yeah.
new to knowing about it?
Knowing about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I've been bipolar my whole life. Like, it makes.
No, this podcast
made me bipolar. You people, with your loveliness, made me so happy that I was angry.
No.
No, it has improved. Because I can think back and watch things, and when I'm editing, especially,
Yeah.
I'll be like, "Oh, I was definitely feeling a way that day," and
Yeah.
I can tell by what I'm saying that it was a high or low.
Right.
And then I can go back and think, and then I try and think of what triggered it or what I did to get rid of the energy, because I need an outlet.
Right.
Either
I'm
way.
the same way.
If
I'm
I'm feeling,
have to vent it in
Mhm.
some fashion.
Yeah.
It has to get out of me.
And it's just made it easier to notice when it's happening in real time.
Yeah.
Like, I can be like, "Oh, I'm feeling manic today."
Right.
Like that, it's a weird feeling.
To be able to notice it.
Especially when it's like a manic high and you're like, "I love everything about everything right now," and you're like, "You're just high on endorphins. Calm down."
your brain made you high.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But it's gotten better, and
Yeah.
I'm more comfortable with the title too.
Yeah.
Especially after doing the episode with Austin.
Good.
Like that, like relating to those things specifically, and understanding that it was bipolar that caused certain traits.
Right.
Through, like, because we talked. Oh, it was wonderful. I loved it.
Well, and you've been able to help other people too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. No, I've talked to other people.
recognize and
Mm-hmm.
work through things. Yeah. And then advocate for those people.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I know what that is. I've seen it before.
Mm-hmm. Like, I've been there. I know it. I know that feeling.
Yeah.
It's not going to go away on its own.
I know I've certainly gotten better at like letting others try to help me, try to look after me, try to be there for me, because I'm bad at that. I'm really bad at it. Like, for you and me, it makes sense because I'll come over here and I will rant and rave and cry and then I'm done, right? Like, I get it out of me and then I'm finished, and then catharsis, you know.
Mm-hmm. No, then TikTok,
Right.
and then catharsis.
Yes. TikTok and death.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also started opening up to other people,
Oh yeah,
which is different and
you've been
new
really good
and,
about that.
like, accepting opportunities to open up to other people,
Mm-hmm.
which still feels strange, but it doesn't feel dangerous anymore.
I mean, that and labels, I think, are your biggest improvements.
Yeah.
Like, being able to have labels and understand how to use them. And
what they're for.
Yeah.
And that they're not a weapon to stuff me into a box.
thanks, Vizzy.
Yes.
Your episode was great.
That was a really good episode.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of, like, mental work for me. It was really intriguing.
Yeah, it was challenging for you, even
and I love that.
And then we, like, clarified it when talking to Lulu and Summer. Really,
Yeah.
that, like, solidified it. And
Uh-huh.
yeah,
It was really helpful to just kind of break out of those things that felt dangerous to me. It felt corralling almost, like you were being led to the box they were going to cram you into, and now you can't get out of it, and it's over. Trauma. Hello. Whoops. But yeah, no, and being able to allow others to be there for me and trying really hard to let others try to help me.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's really difficult because it feels like an extra step because we've always looked after ourselves.
Yeah.
Right. And so having somebody be like, how can I help you? And you're like, well, I'm going to go do this thing because that is going to help me. Instead, you have to be like, well, you could do this thing that might help me.
Right.
It just feels weird. Like you're...
Practice.
It feels selfish a little bit.
All you
you're
need
like,
is
I
practice.
could have done that.
Yeah, no, I hate that feeling. Like I said, when Pedro put the TV in and made me sit down instead of help him,
you're
I was like,
"Ugh,
this is not fair.
I could do that.
I could lift that TV by myself, sir.
You could and haven't done.
Yeah, Randy didn't blame me about that 70-inch that one
You
time.
did.
But I did it myself. I moved it. I've mounted it multiple times.
Because you're
I'm
like
amazing.
me. I'm the one who moved the washer and dryer by myself with no equipment in our apartment that
Oh, yeah?
one time.
Well, I'm the one who moved you around when you did the thing, and you weigh more than a washing machine. I mean, look at her. She's a twig.
Very small washing machine.
Yeah. Maybe just like
those, like little
A
crank
child? Are you
Exactly.
talking about a
counter units.
child?
no, like yeah, exactly,
the
Kaylee,
the
the roller
scrubby
ones.
thing, yeah.
You're bigger than one of those.
I weigh more than the washing machine. Indeed.
At least one washing machine. At
least-
some point in time,
at
you were
least
you're
one
bigger than
washing
at least
machine.
one.
Yeah. But I've learned to not stew.
Yeah.
I've learned to get things out of me. And I've learned to clarify and to, I don't know, I'm better at regulating my emotions
Mm-hmm.
and I'm better at withholding the judgment and the like jumping ahead to like, oh, I know what's going to happen, or I know what this is. I'm better at it. I'm not perfect at it. I still have PTSD moments, but I'm better at like, okay, let's wait before we start freaking out.
Yeah.
And try to clarify what's going on and ask more questions and dig deeper into things.
Mhm.
And it's been helpful.
All that to say that we're better because of it.
You guys have grown so much, and I'm over here like, wow, I'm just toxic as fuck.
You're not toxic
We're
at all.
not.
You don't know.
You should see her on the
You don't
internet.
have to live
Oh,
with
God.
I've lived with you and it wasn't toxic.
me. Are you sure?
I love spending time with you. So
I keep it inside. It's inside. It's
How
really
can you be
toxic.
sure it's toxic if you keep it inside?
Because I'm poisoning myself.
You should open. Well, that's why you got to get it out of you. That's the thing
No.
I've learned is get it out. Don't let it sit in there. It's like bad milk in your fridge.
That's what my fuck page was.
Exactly.
Which doesn't make
Get
any
it
sense
out.
when I say it.
It's beautiful, actually, for all of you.
I
who-
love that sentence.
The
It's like
fuck
my
page.
fuck page.
Let's show the page.
Clarify.
We're gonna show you the page, and then we should probably go.
Yeah, we can.
Are you not ready?
No, I can be.
Look at how beautiful Kaylee did a thing.
It looks like that time I wrote "A Watch Pot Never Boils."
Well,
That's
that
what I was
was
going for.
madness.
That was me in the deepest
We should
depression.
do one of those with symptoms.
Oh, that would be really
Like a
cool.
word cloud. but
Yeah.
Scary.
Scary
But
word cloud.
scary.
Scary word cloud.
Dude, we could do it on here.
That'd
On
be
like,
cool.
because if we get, one to go on that wall, we have 3 of
That would
these
be cool.
up
Yes.
in this room.
Ha 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 ha.
We have a 4th that is blank too.
Is blank and
So-
and for drawing on.
I'm just saying.
We got to figure out what the best things to draw on them with are.
Yeah, I like
Sharpies seem to do okay.
the big. I want to get one of those big paint Sharpies though. Like they have the really like for graffiti,
Yeah.
something like that to do big things and then finer ones.
Yes.
That's just me.
Yes. We're gonna do all those things.
Kaylee's done graffiti, so she would know more.
Don't tell on me.
She's out there doing illegal stuff all the time.
She drew in chalk one time
Crimes.
in the middle of the night. Mean things.
I did an actual crime once, and then I was paranoid for several weeks that the cops were coming to get me.
No, it made
Oh,
me
no.
paranoid too. It's like there's no
Like,
way
one
she's
morning
gonna
there
get in
was a
trouble.
helicopter, and I'm like, oh no,
They're
they're
The SWAT
coming
team.
for me. I really fucked up this time.
Way to go, Kaylee. Your crimes are
Amazing.
just too big.
Wanted.
Yeah.
Dead or alive.
Yeah, we can
Mostly
go.
alive.
We could go.
Is there more you wanted to say?
Well, I just want to thank everybody.
Yes. Well, that's the big one, I think, is we are better because of the podcast, but we are better because of you.
The people who follow the podcast.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of work, but we've done it for other people at this
Yeah.
point. Like it would not have happened if people weren't interested.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I'm glad that we are able to be the voice of the strange little things that you didn't think people could relate to.
Like the ear stabbies.
yes.
You guys get the ear stabbies, right? I get the ear stabbies.
I love the ear stabbies. Phew.
Things like that.
Just ridiculous things.
Mhm.
But it is life. It is happening, and you are not alone. And you've made us feel less alone, and more accountable and more hopeful, I think.
Oh
too.
yeah.
Which is so important when you're living life with a chronic condition,
Yeah.
and especially an invisible condition where you think no one sees you. But we see you because we're magic.
Because we're spying on
On
We're
all of
made
you.
of magic, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I'm basically the NSA. I know what you're doing at all times, always.
I have cameras set up outside of your house, pointed in every window.
That's how good I am. I'm like a master criminal.
A master criminal.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you for following along and listening this long.
Yeah. I know it's a long one, but
it's long, but we had a lot to say.
It was a fun one.
We wanted to reminisce before the new year.
Yes. Because I think marking time and being reflective is important.
Yeah. It was, I mean, just doing the research for this, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I forgot about where we
forget
were.
Where we come from and how far we've come with things. And
even
if you're not in a place that's like perfect and not where you want to be, you've probably made a lot of progress from where you once were.
Yeah.
And that is something to be proud of. And we're proud of you. And there's nothing you can do about it.
It's true. So join the Discord. We sang its praises enough in the episode.
Yes.
You don't have to participate. You can lurk.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure that,
Just hang out.
you can find someone talking about the thing you're experiencing.
Right.
At least once.
This is very true.
Or participate and join our lives.
Exactly. We love hearing from you guys. So even if you don't want to join the Discord, leave us a comment somewhere. We always read them. We get excited and we show each other.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is it, huh?
That's it.
All right. Well, Happy New Year to all of you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Chrysler.
Merry Crisis.
Christmas.
All right.
Just Christmas.
Remember, be kind to you.
Be kind to others.
And we'll see you
in the next one.
Bye.
Bye. You did an outro.
I did.
Good job.